On page 403, we're talking about the laws of Shechianu on a new tzitzit. Do we have another copy of this book in the shul? Probably like 2 extra copies. Do you see one over there?
I think there's 2 on the shelf, or those different volumes.
Check, are they halakha brad or a different book? Yeah, who is this?
Sir, your water.
No, I think these are something else.
Yeah.
I think this is
No, it's something else. Thank you. Okay. On page, no, I think that's, leave that in my house. Page 403, Siman Chaf Bet. Din Shechianu al Asiyat Tzitzit. The laws of making a Shechianu when you make a new tzitzit. There's one halakha here, we read it yesterday. Kana talit. Somebody bought a talit. What is a talit?
That's the cloth.
Very good. Any cloth, beged, clothing, any. It doesn't have to be a talit like you think of in the store, but anything that's required to put on its strings. V'asa bo tzitzit, and he put onto it tzitzit strings. Mevarich shechianu. At that point, he makes a shechianu. Delo gara mikelim chadashim. Because it's not any worse, literally, but practically, it's not any different than someone who buys something else, which you would make a shechianu. Haga. We're above the 2 lines. Haga in the Rashi script. Says the Rama. V'im lo birech b'shat asiyah. If a person did not make the blessing when he made the tzitzit, mevarech b'shat ituf rishon. He makes the blessing on the first time he wears the talit. So, a person buys the beged. They buy the strings. They tie the strings onto the tzitzit. That's when they make the shechianu, says Maran. Says the Rama, if they forgot to make it then, when can they make it next?
You put it on.
The first time they put it on. Very good.
Wait, I don't understand. I thought that's when you say shechianu is when you put something on it. First time.
No, he's saying Moran says when you buy it.
Hmm?
When you acquire it. It's when you.
When you buy like a shirt or something, you can say shechianu before you even put
You
it
want
on.
to bring me a Shulchan Aruch, the second volume? There, on
If
the
it's
shelf.
new, if it's newly bought, yeah.
There's a Mishnah
Before
brown.
you wear it?
You'll see tall brown books.
Because
The second volume, the one that says bet.
You're
Thin,
not-
tall brown books. The second one that says bet.
I guess you can confirm it. These days, of course, you can return a shirt until you put it on.
Yeah, so ask them
So-
that, ask them that. Would you
Oh, the
say it
return
when you
policy.
buy it or when you
World of
start
return
wearing it?
policies.
Complicated questions. Return it, borrow it. Options.
It's called a Fresnel lens. It's a lens, but it's flat. It magnifies, but it's flat. See?
Let me just read to you from here.
Yeah, right. Keep it at-
Maran's opinion is regarding the blessing of shechianu is that one makes shechianu when they buy something, not when they first use it. This is Maran's opinion in general. The wording the Gemara says. The Gemara in Masech Brachot, I believe it's Daf Mem Dalet. The Gemara says there, what?
This is not the Rambam.
No, not the Rambam. I'll find the Rambam. Put in some more books. Because my house will be different. And Maran's opinion is you go to the store, you buy a new suit. Once you finish paying, that's when you make a shechianu. Why wait until you wear it? The earliest time where you actually own something is when you should make the shechianu. That's Maran's opinion. It seems that over the generations we've taken the Ramah's opinion of you could bless up until you wear it, as that's when you should make the shechianu.
Yeah, cost it. And you return it, you don't like it.
That's the problem. On what do you make shechianu?
But if you buy something for somebody else, then you don't. When they receive it, you do it.
So let's figure out. Let's ask the better question. When do you make a shechianu?
When you believe that that's your article of clothing and you're going to keep it. Or,
I'm gonna buy a pair of socks. I know I'm
Sure.
gonna keep them. I make a shechianu.
No. Not on
So I'm answering your question. You have to give me a right
special
answer.
garment.
No, it's not
A special garment. What defines special?
Tiny,
News.
very fancy,
Suit or
expensive
shirt,
dress.
something costs money.
What is define for me the blessing shechianu? Baruch Hashem.
Shechianu,
Shechianu, which you have given us life, V'kiyimanu, and
Oh, it's a stain. It's
sustain us. V'higianu, and you've allowed us to reach
This-
Zaman Hazeh, this time, this auspicious moment. It has to be something that you feel like it's a really special thing that happened to you. Not everything makes you happy enough to make a shechianu. It's different. This is a subjective halakha. It seems to me that the Ashkenazim today follow an opinion brought down in the Tosafot, which is to only make shechianu on big things like a suit. Yeah, I've seen in yeshiva only on a suit people make shechianu. Somebody once asked, "You should make shechianu in yeshiva on a black hat," and the rabbi said, "Does it make you happy?" You have to answer that question. This is subjective halakha. For a poor person who doesn't ever buy clothes, could be that one time a year where they buy clothes. Chama ben Yosef told me when I was at his house that he used to change his shirt once a year.
Hmm?
He only had one set of clothing. He wore every single day, Shabbat, weekdays, holidays, weddings. That's all he owned for many, many years until he was able to afford a new anything, a new undershirt, a new every day. That's what he wore.
In his youth, you mean? Not like
When he was married.
He was married.
Yeah, not now, no. Before he passed away, he was wearing a gold robe and had a bulletproof BMW. I don't think he was worried about his clothes. That's what it says in Kollel Mekayim the Torah Mi'oni. Somebody who sticks to the Torah when he's poor. So finally, at the end of the day, he'll observe the Torah when he's wealthy as well. That's a blessing that came true for him. So imagine to me, what kind of things would you make a shechianu with?
Buying an expensive dress.
An expensive dress.
Piece of jewelry.
Perhaps a piece of jewelry. A suit, you would say? I would say a suit.
Nice suit.
Today you have to know. I don't know, sometimes you go buy like a $70 polyester suit. I don't know that you would make a shechianu on that.
Leisure
A
suit.
Baruch Dan Ha'emet, maybe, but a shechianu.
Okay.
What?
Shoes are expensive nowadays too. Good quality shoes, anyways. Shoes.
Depend which shoes. Those shoes you saved the entire year to buy them.
Yeah.
Maybe yes. But
So you're saying it's situational,
Thank you.
depending on the person.
2 simanim before where I'm at. I'm looking at this, I'm seeing fruits and fruits and fruits, and I said, it's gotta be
Yeah.
2 pages before. Thank you very much.
What if you,
Let's read here.
What if you bought like a set of books that you really wanted, or something, and not something
I asked our
rare?
parents this question.
About books?
Books. Our parents told me that he once had a neighbor upstairs, and he was writing this one of his first books, and he needed to borrow a set of Rambam because he didn't own his own set of Rambam. He couldn't afford it. So he went upstairs to borrow the book. He said, I need the book for 20 minutes. Can I borrow the book and bring it back? And the neighbor said no. So he was so upset that he went to the bookstore and bought his own set of Rambam with money he barely had. And when he bought it, he made a blessing out loud. Shechianu, v'kimanu, v'higiyanu, lazman hazeh, not only because of the books, but also because he'll never have to ask the neighbor another question again. Shechianu, make a blessing on an auspicious moment. A talit is not something you buy every day. It's the kind of thing you make a blessing on. Let's read to you from the Shulchan Aruch. Thank you, Jack, for pointing out the right source. Why is it an interesting question? What if this is a used piece of clothing that you bought from somebody else, but you're very happy to buy it from somebody else? Yeah, why not make? Does it have to be brand new? No, it has to be new to you.
Yeah.
That's not how
Like
it's
a
done.
rare book, like the kind you've gotten a couple times.
Very good. There could be a book that you never had, or clothing that just weren't available.
So then I have a question on this.
Yeah, you have a question?
During the 3 weeks, you're not supposed to buy. Before Tisha B'Av, you're not supposed to buy
This is the
and wear
origin of
new
that
clothing.
halakha, is because you can't make a shechianu in those times. And so why would you buy something you can't make a shechianu on?
So
The
let's
question
say,
is, what about people who buy them and only make shechianu later? Is this your question?
or, yeah, you buy it and you don't wear it till during the 3 weeks.
After 3 weeks.
That's why some poskim are lenient about that, especially in a situation where you're buying something now, there are no Jews. It's on sale now. And later you won't be able to get it at the same price. So many poskim allow you to do that during the 3 weeks. Hopefully we'll never have to do the 3 weeks again. But it's a very good question, this question. Because we've changed already the halakha here. Maran writes, B'shata kinyan, when a person buys the clothing, the object, yeshu levarech, one should make the blessing. Afal pi she'adayin lo nishtamesh behem, even though you didn't actually use them for anything yet. שאין הברכה אלא על ידי שמחת הלב שהוא שמח בקנייתן. Are you listening carefully? He says when you buy them, that's when you make the shechianu because you're happy to own them. Uchsheyilbashem, and when you wear them, you make a different bracha. Mevarech balbish arumi. Make the blessing, blessed are you Hashem, who clothes the naked.
Which we say in the morning. The same one?
That's what the Mishnah Berurah says. It
That-
says you should wear it for the first time in the morning. That way you include it in the blessing of Malbish Arumim in the morning.
Is that a minority opinion or?
I can't tell you that I've seen it done. Maran mentions that if a person buys somebody a gift, it's a very expensive gift. You say, Baruch Atah Hashem, Elokeinu melech haolam, hatov v'hamitiv. Hashem is good and does good. When do we make this blessing on a common basis?
Wine.
On wine. Very good. If you drink wine at your kiddush table, and then later somebody brings a much fancier bottle of wine. You made it on Menashevet, and someone brings you a nice, dry, non-mevushal wine. You make in front of other people that blessing. Hatov v'hamitiv. Hashem is good and does good. It's a blessing that the rabbis instituted on something new that makes you happy. These halachot are numerous. We will learn these. This is part of the things we're going to learn in the next section of Kollel. So we'll discuss these things in depth. But it's an important thing to know. There's a big argument, Maran and the Ramah. When do you make Shechianu? Let's say you're wearing now you're going to wear the article of clothing. So let's give you a better example. You buy a fruit, but you forgot to make the blessing when you bought the fruit. So when do you make the blessing? When you're about to eat it, right? Do you say Shechianu and then Borei Pri Ha'etz? Or do you say Borei Pri Ha'etz and then Shechianu? Do you say Borei Pri Ha'etz, eat the fruit, and then make Shechianu? Why is Shechianu not an interruption between the blessing and the eating of the fruit?
Good question.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about that.
I did talk about it.
We had that for
And in one of our halakha classes, we're going to get to those things.
during the Kiddush of the holiday, Rosh Hashanah.
Oh,
Kiddush.
very, very nice. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to get to this. B'ezrat Hashem.
So
Right now,
it says in that thing, it shows you that Piskei Teshuvot emphasizes that the minhag is to make the bracha when one first wears it. So, I mean, I don't know what the
he quotes the Shulchan Aruch and the Mishnah Berurah.
Yeah,
Both are saying you should do it when you buy the clothing. But the custom is not like what it says in the Shulchan Aruch and the Mishnah Berurah.
the custom by who?
The Piskei Teshuva is an Ashkenazi book. The custom by Ashkenazi.
Oh, it's Ashkenazi.
Yeah. Which I've seen to be true, but I don't know that somebody who really follows Mishnah Berurah would agree with that.
Okay.
You're right. Thanks for pointing that out.
So what does you said Marah? What does Ramah say?
He doesn't argue. He agrees with Mara.
He agrees. Okay.
And this is an explicit Mishnah, Gemara. It's not. There's not room to argue about this.
Well, good.
There are things in life to make. The Rambam says that a person can't make too many shechianos. One shouldn't be scared. Rambam says v'kol hamarbeh, and it's rare the Rambam says such a thing. Anybody who increases in making shechianos, hareiza mishubach, he will receive he's praiseworthy.
What if you lose something, or you misplace something that's really important to you, or really valuable, or something, and you find it for a long time?
You say Baruch Hashem,
I know.
but no, shechianu is only instituted on the buying of new things, and the reason why the rabbis say. So why does it say buying new things? We mentioned already that if you use something from somebody else, you make a shechianu. So why does Shulchan Aruch mention new things? Says Maran, the Afuke comes to exclude a situation like this, where maybe you sold your thing to somebody else and then you bought it back from them. In which case you wouldn't make a shechianu on it all over again. For example, imagine you sold something to somebody for Pesach and you bought it back from them. You wouldn't make a shechianu all over again. Because it's not new to you anymore. But we're going to learn these halachot in depth.
Oh, good.
Back to our siman at Shulchan Aruch.
Saying Shechianu often shows gratitude.
It shows gratitude. It seems like others are worried that it might become too routine for you. That's always the word. I'll tell you, I lived by the Kotel in Jerusalem for 4 years, and I used to pray by the Kotel almost every single day for the first 6 months I was there. And then you reach this point where the Kotel's in your backyard. You go whenever it's convenient for you. And it's not because, God forbid, any of us thought the Kotel was any holier, but when you get used to something, it doesn't mean as much anymore. There's a lot of wisdom in the laws of the Torah that tell you to refresh things and rejuvenate things and not to constantly do the same thing over again, because the person autopilot is not so healthy. But I think there's a way to say shechenu. You don't make shechenu every day. Even if you buy clothes all the time, you're not always making a shechenu. Not everything warrants a shechenu. Certain things, certain events that happen in a person's life, there's halakha that when a baby gets a brit milah, we make a shechenu. The custom among Ashkenazi Jews outside of Israel is not to make a shechenu. You have seen this, for sure you have seen this. You just don't know. The reason being, how can you say shechenu when a baby's crying? It's not something somebody made up in their sleep. It's an opinion like this. Like, make shechenu on a lot of things, but not on this. Kind of like there's an opinion that one doesn't make shechenu on leather clothing.
Really?
Because even though it's new
Kill
to
the
you, you
animal.
had to kill something in order to get it. Which means you can't bless over something else's demise, even if it was allowed. It's not the same to shear an animal as it is to kill an animal. It's a different thing.
It's like a wool sweater. Is
Right,
different
a
than
wool sweater is different than a leather jacket, or I don't know, what do they wear? A fur coat, or whatever such things people wear.
fall fur.
I never understand really why a person would wear a fur coat.
Yeah.
But that's
In
wow.
San Diego, I've never
Just
seen
Dirty
one.
below.
Just go back 40 years and you'll see.
And you'll see, right?
My daughter has
Okay, so this
Talking about one.
one. No, she got it from my mother.
why was I telling you about this? Fur coats, I meant Shechianu, I was telling you. When a baby's born. In Israel, though, Ashkenazim do like Sfardim. In Israel, everybody makes Shechianu during a brit. There are many halachot that in Israel, Sfardim and Ashkenazim agree on, and outside of Israel, we don't. For example, saying En Kalukenu every day during Tefillah. We say it here. Ashkenazim don't say it every day. In Israel, though, everybody says it every day.
Really?
If you've ever opened up an Ashkenazi Siddur for the blessing of the new month that you do on Shabbat, it's a very short paragraph. That's it. You bless the new month. And Sfaradim have a long paragraph. There are two nuschot. There's one nusach that is for Israel and one nusach that is for outside of Israel. By the Sfaradim, we say the same nusach everywhere, outside and inside Israel. In Israel, for example, if you use a Koran Siddur, you might notice that it will have two versions. Or it will have an American version and an Israeli version. For the very simple reason that there are different halachot. In Israel, the Ashkenazi and Sephardic halachot are much more similar than outside of Israel. It's actually heartwarming of that. Birkat Kohanim, which Ashkenazim don't do every day here, but in Israel everybody does Birkat Kohanim every day. It's not an Ashkenazi Sephardic thing; it's an everybody thing. That would be the way to go. To see what do we do in Israel? We have enough things we don't agree on. The things we agree on, we should just keep agreeing on that. Hakoneh oseh talit chadasha le'atzmo. If a person buys or makes a new talit for themselves, mivarech birkat shechianu b'sha'ah shemitatef ba b'pam harishona. Do you see what I'm reading right now?
Yeah, Aleph, second line.
I'm reading a Sephardic book that is already disagreeing with the Shulchan Aruch. He says when a person buys or wears a talit for the first time, they make a blessing on the first time they wear it. Like what Jack read from the Biskei Tshuvot, which is the custom. V'hainu ben shekna'a belo tzitziot v'til ba tzitziot lachar miken. Whether you bought it without tzitziot and you're the one who put in tzitziot, somebody asked this question last night. Uven shekna'a achar shehutalu ba tzitziot v'chen minhag. The custom is whether you buy it with tzitziot, without tzitziot, you make the bracha when you first wear it.
I'm not sure.
So that's true with all clothes?
That's what it seems like.
If you forget to say it, then you should say it when you wear it.
He brings a long list of rabbis who say this is the custom, this is the custom, this is the custom, this is the custom, this is the, oh no, this is the custom. The question is why is this the custom? Give me a second.
Two different Mishnah rules.
Yeah, I have a few different Mishnah. I like
This
three different.
is what offer
Addition?
Yeah, different commentaries. and different-
Commentaries.
With Yosef, so.
Rabbi Yosef, okay, thank you.
Who's that? Here. Oh, let me read to you from the Kavachim. As much as I can read from this terrible print. Achshav, nowadays, I told you they made a new edition. They didn't print a new edition of this book for like 40 years. And when I bought the book, I said, are they ever going to print a new edition? I said, nah, never. So I finally, after years of waiting, I bought the set. 2 months after I bought the set, they came out with a new edition of the set. It's unbelievable. Okay, so I have the old set, that's fine. Achshav, nowadays, minhag ha'olam, the custom of the world, this is the Kaf HaChaim, the Sephardic Rabbi Yaakov Chaim Sofer. He was, I mentioned to you once about his book that Rabbi Yosef Yosef finished writing it for him when he passed away. שאין לברך שהחיינו על המלבוש כי אם בשעת הלבשה. That a person, the custom nowadays, a person doesn't make a shechianu when they buy the clothing, rather only when they wear the clothing. וכן על talit בשעת העיטוף, and so too when you're wearing a talit. People, the first time they make a shechianu is when they're wrapped in the talit. והטעם נראה לי, it seems the reason to me why this has become the custom, דנהגו דלא מברכי בשעת קנייה, the reason they don't make a blessing when they buy things like the Shulchan Aruch, mishum dechayshi shema yachzor bo. They're worried maybe they'll regret buying it and they'll
Turn it into Costco. There you go.
אלא ללבשו שלא ללבשו מאיזו סיבה, maybe it might happen that they won't wear it for some reason or another. ויחזור וימכרנו, maybe he'll sell them. או לתנו במתנה לאחר. Maybe they'll pass on. Sometimes you buy something you thought you were going to use, you're not going to use it, so you give it as a gift to somebody else. You wrap it up nicely, it's a new bar mitzvah present. Right? That kind of thing. ותהיה ברכתו לחינם, and then God forbid their blessing would be in vain.
And that's a big thing for Sephardim, you think.
For everybody.
Right, but you're
No,
also
we're
telling us
talking
that
about
with
that.
Oh, for Sephardim, right, they're worried always about brachot, yes.
But you're saying it's looser with the shechekianu though. It's
Right, let's keep saying. כן, נהגו שלא לברך כי אם בשעת ובשעת דווקא. And that's why people do it, because of that. You know, Maran's opinion is also when you say shechianu, when do you say shechianu on a new fruit? Not when you buy it,
You eat it
not when you eat it.
Before
before
you
you
eat
eat
it.
it. Yes.
You have to quantify that
when
time.
you bring it home.
That's already after you bought it. Hopefully.
Oh.
Depends who you are.
But you said before you eat it. Yes.
Just before you eat it.
Oh, when you
The
desire.
the wording Maran uses is haro'eh, somebody who sees the fruit.
Oh, God.
Seeing it is
Even
what
if
makes
it's
you
not
happy.
yours.
You don't need to eat it to be happy. You never happen to you come into Sprouts and you see the whole new season of fruits. Wow, it makes you happy a little bit. Now there's peaches and there's plums and there's this and there's
It does,
that.
yeah, right. It does make you
It's
happy.
like the new season is here.
Oh,
Especially you struggle because you're Americans and Americans are we're used to being able to get fruits all year round. But for example, in Israel, when watermelon season shows up, everyone's buying watermelon. When it's strawberry season, everyone's buying strawberries. The seasons are very important. I don't think we really appreciate the value of a shechianu. We mass import fruits, and you'll notice that 90% of the year the fruits taste like plastic.
Right.
They're not really supposed to be being.
Right.
I heard what Marlene said.
Big shift.
Because they're not supposed to be grown now.
Yeah.
You talked to me about organic. Do you know how many fruits are sitting for a year and a half in a refrigerator before you buy them?
Or they're shipped from Peru.
Other
It's a season.
countries,
Or they're
other.
brominated.
Yeah.
For your benefit.
We have here.
Eating pleasure.
But there are brachot you say, like when you see a sunset or you see anything really beautiful. So it's not a shehechianu. So why would there not be a brachot for seeing something like new fruits and stuff? That's not shehechianu.
Like flowers. New flowers.
So, right, those halachot all start not at the using time, but as the purchase time or the seeing time, depending on what they
But
are.
if you see new fruit, you don't say shehechianu. You would say a different brachot, no?
We see a special bracha in Nisan.
Yeah, you
on
see a new fruit,
trees,
you make a blessing on it of Shavyan.
And they're flowers.
Just
And
like you would make
see
it. It's the same blessing you make when you eat it. But the real reason you make it is when you see it.
So if you don't buy it but see it, then you can't make it.
Yeah, you said you could.
Well, I have a whole question here. When you bought this article of clothing, were you not happy to buy it?
Yeah, but you could be looking at it and happy to see it.
Rarely does a person window shop at the mall and I'm so happy Macy's has those boots that I always want. I never heard such a thing.
Actually, you get envious.
If it would, all we'd have to do is go with our spouses window shopping. We wouldn't have to ever buy anything, right? It's the joy is buying it. Let's say I buy a new outfit. For whatever reason I don't wear it, then I give it to somebody else as a gift. Was I not happy enough at that moment to make a shechianu? I was. At that moment I was happy enough. And how does it become a blessing in vain afterwards? I'm eating a new fruit, and then I bite into that new fruit, and I don't really like dragon fruit. I don't know, it wasn't really my thing. Or I don't really like, what's that fruit they bring every Rosh Hashanah? The star fruit.
Yeah.
If I wanted to eat grass, I would eat grass. But every year, and it's true, you make a shechianu when you eat it. But just because it doesn't taste good doesn't mean that it takes away my shechianu blessing. I have a question on this whole custom, and I don't think that any custom in the world should shake Maran, unless it's really a good reason. I'm not convinced it's a good reason. I would say the following. Okay, don't make shechianu in the kind of clothing you think you might return. But on that thing which you know for sure that you're going to keep, certain things you buy. They could be more popular by men than by women. It could be. That men buy things and they use them. And a lot of women buy things and they'll sit in the back of a car until they return them. Not everybody, not a rule. But I believe that men buy less clothes in general, perhaps. I don't know if I'm right. Not true? Is it not true?
I don't know. But
You don't know. You're
My
different.
wife returns stuff a lot more than I do.
Okay, very good. So that's for me. Sometimes it's not worth going back to the store.
Like,
to
ironically, in
return.
our family, sometimes there's more joy about a return getting accepted. Like, oh, this thing's been kicking around the car for 3 months. They might not accept the return, and then when they accept the return, it's like, yes.
There used to be a store in LA that would take returns anytime. You could wear something for a year and then take it back.
Which one?
Nordstrom does
It was
that.
Like
one of those types of
Costco.
store.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Costco.
Costco.
I said the reason why Jews buy alcohol in Costco is because they could drink it and then return it. You know, it's kind of
Some of those bottles are $40,000 they have in Costco now.
I saw
You
it.
go there,
You
you're
know,
like, what's going on there?
Hashem
So-
Yishmor.
What?
They have these glass cases of thousands of dollars of bottles. I really wonder if it tastes. And like every sip you take is like a car, a house, a mortgage. And this you should know. It's called a bel tashchit.
To buy those
Somebody
expensive
once
bottles.
brought her a Peretz a bottle. Very expensive alcohol. Not very expensive. Not that expensive. But more expensive than anything anybody would buy on a regular basis. They bought it for him. They gave it to him as a gift. They went to Europe as a rabbi. They came back from their job. And our Peretz was in a very big problem. He held the bottle. And he says, I'm in a real dilemma. I don't know what to do. He says, I can't drink it. Because drinking it would violate the biblical prohibition of Baal Tashchid, do not waste. He said, I can't give it to you because you're going to drink it and then you'll waste it. He said, I can't keep it because there's no point in owning such a thing. He said, unless you're going to return it, I don't know what you want me to do with it. He was very strict that you should not spend too much money on things that don't need to. This whole, I'm a connoisseur of wine, I'm a connoisseur of chocolate, I'm a connoisseur of... at the end of the day, the Maaseh, there's no reason you should on any kind of food spend. They had a famous meat that now became kosher. They found they made it from Japan. You probably know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Kobe beef or something?
Yeah, this. And they had like a little piece of it for $384.
You know why it's so expensive?
And they're selling it in Borough Park. You can imagine all the...
Because there's no land to graze cattle on, so there's only.
You think that's the reason why it's... I don't know what the story is,
There's no
but it's
different.
forbidden to buy such a thing. Well, for what purpose? We have to eat to live. We have to eat a little bit to enjoy it, but to become gluttonous, we're not allowed.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you see a beautiful flower, this blessing you're saying, it's not shehechianu. You see a beautiful fruit, and you say shehechianu, but you don't eat it. Why?
What's your question?
Why?
Your first part of the question was better than the second part.
It's all one question. If you say a bracha when you see a beautiful flower, or a beautiful tree, or a beautiful sunset, you say a specific bracha.
Yes.
You see a beautiful fruit. Why don't you also have a specific bracha for that? Why would you say shehechianu if you're not going to eat it?
Very good. What are you making a shechianu on? What kind of fruit?
You're saying when you go into a store and you see a bunch of beautiful
No, what
seasonal
kind of
fruit.
fruit? Let's not make
It's
this.
to make you happy.
No, more than that. What kind of fruit?
Well, something that you eat for
I'd
the
say
first
kiwi.
time. You eat it for the first time. And I
It
say,
has to be a fruit that goes out of season and comes back into season. Something that you may not have lived to see the next season for. In which case, you're making a shechianu on it because Hashem, you
Okay.
allowed me to reach the new season of this fruit.
okay.
when you see a beautiful sunset, or a beautiful tree, or a beautiful person, the Shulchan Aruch says, you make a blessing on a beautiful person, but it's not the same blessing as you allowed me to see another beautiful. That could happen any day of your life. One has to do with time,
Okay.
and one has to do with the thing you're looking at.
Okay.
It's a good question what Marlene asked.
Is he a beautiful person? What's this?
Yes, that is my question too.
How does that jive with like not?
Go
looking
on,
at-
tell him the
I mean,
beautiful. I'm saying a blessing for you.
Uh-huh.
I think the Billy Crystal. You look marvelous.
You make me happy.
It's a good translation. It's a good translation of the.
You look.
There's a blessing you make on. And by the way, I believe the Ashkenazi Siddur has all of these. The Art Scroll has all of these blessings listed.
Oh, there are many.
Yes, there are many blessings listed in there. That's very important. I don't know why other people don't have them. If a person sees a city of idolaters that has been destroyed, if a person sees a place where idols have been taken away from, if a person has seen Babylon, the evil Babylon, one makes a blessing on it. If a person sees a lion's den or a fiery furnace, a person makes a blessing on it. If a person sees the house of Nebuchadnezzar, good luck. You make a bracha on it. If a person sees,
You can't do anything so many times, so many blessings.
if a person sees more than 600,000 Jews in one place,
600.
one makes a blessing in that place.
Nice.
If a person
Start counting.
sees 600,000 Jews, unfortunately, that are all idol worshippers, there's another blessing one makes. If a person sees rabbis of the Jewish people, there's a blessing they make on rabbis. If a person sees sages of non-Jewish philosophers, mathematicians, scientists, there's a blessing one makes on them. If a person sees a Jewish king, there's a blessing to make on them. If a person sees a non-Jewish king, there's a blessing to make on them. It's a mitzvah to go try to see kings, even non-Jewish kings, says Shulchan Aruch, in order to make blessings on them.
The president now is the same thing.
President is not a king. The definition of a king in halakha is one who could kill somebody without due process of the law. No
President?
jury, no judge, no trial.
President can't do that.
President cannot do that, and therefore maybe a more civil leader, but he's not. The blessing you make on a king is comparing him to. He has the power of killing people like God does, and this one doesn't. And maybe tomorrow you'll be happy they don't.
Does the king have to hear you? Or you
No,
you can just.
the king doesn't have to.
So you
hear.
can be like far distance away.
Sure.
and say-
There's a big question. What happens if you see a king on TV? How Vada deals with this question. Can you see
That's a good one.
a king giving an inaugural address to make a blessing on them? If you see houses of the Jewish people, the Jews are living in them. Make a blessing. Houses that are destroyed, you make a blessing. There's a whole bunch of you see graves of the Jewish people. I know many people don't do this. It's a mistake. In every cemetery in the world, almost, there's a sign at the entrance of the blessing one makes for seeing Jewish graves for the first time in 30 days.
Tim Badin, that one?
And here in San Diego, we don't. Yeah, about Hadin, about the judgment. In San Diego, we don't have it in our cemetery.
You say it when?
Why are you
When
looking
you
at
When
haven't
one
seen
comes
it?
into the cemetery, after not having seen it for 30 years, for 30 days.
30
I
days.
always have to Google that before I go there,
Yep.
so it's like not easy to find. Always. That prayer.
What are all these
There's a
prayers?
blessing one makes on the ocean. There's a blessing one makes on seeing lightning and thunder. There's a blessing one makes on seeing beautiful people and beautiful trees and beautiful this, and one makes a blessing either in the Atlantic Ocean or the Mediterranean Ocean. There are a lot of brachot that a person is supposed to make.
Where are all these brachot?
These are in the Shulchan Aruch. If you look at an art scroll, if I'm not mistaken, art scroll has a lot of them.
There
Not all
are
of
a
them.
lot of them there, but not all of the
In the
ones.
Siddur,
Not all the
are
ones are
mentioned.
mentioned,
No,
right?
no.
The reason why not all of them are mentioned is because not all authorities agree that you make all these blessings today. For example, Sfaradim a long time ago jumped off the bandwagon of these blessings mistakenly. It's not correct what Sfaradim did, in our opinion. Because, well, some rabbis say, don't make the blessing, and what does Sfaradim do? Okay, so we'll make the blessing without Hashem's name. And once you start doing things without Hashem's name, nobody takes it seriously, and then you get into the problem of, okay, so people don't do it anymore. And unfortunately, a lot of people have lost out on these brachot because of that.
Taking a lot of Hashem is a pretty short list. Like I wonder if they like ruled out.
I don't know.
some of those
I don't know.
rules.
We're going to learn all of these brachot together. A bracha you make when a baby's born in the hospital. A bracha you make and all kinds of brachot a person makes. A bracha a person makes when they get an inheritance.
When they get a haircut?
Inheritance.
Inheritance.
There is a blessing also.
A haircut too.
Not on a haircut, but when you greet somebody after seeing them get a haircut. In Yemen, this custom was very much.
When you
And
greet
observe-
somebody with a haircut?
You see them get a new haircut. There's an Aramaic statement you should say to them. I believe it's Shapir Ginzich. how beautiful is your haircut?
So if it's not beautiful, you don't say it.
Correct. And with all of these things, I was going to tell you,
Well-
brachot. The bottom line is to give
make
thanks to
friends
HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we'll get to these brachot. We'll get to each one of them. We'll discuss each one of them in depth, at length. We're getting there, slowly but surely. We're conquering the Shulchan Aruch. I was going to just share something, the last thing for today.
Ooh.
I don't remember.
Grandpa?
No,
Related
it's
to
not
what?
about this, about brachot, about... don't ever be afraid for people who tell you not to say thank you to Hashem.
Not to say.
You're not going to go to Gehenom for saying thank you to Hashem too many times. Yes, we have a reverence of Hashem's name, but a person who makes a bracha because they're grateful to Hashem, what more reverence of Hashem? I mean, if someone can say, oh, you're making too many shechianos, you're saying Hashem's name in vain. I'm not telling you to make a shechiano on your new socks. You know, on a real thing, you don't worry about all the people who say you can't make a shechiano. At the end of the day, you're giving thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How much more seriously can you say Hashem's name than that?
The thing is that a lot of people say Baruch Hashem, for example, so many times that it gets to be meaningless, and it's almost like a automatic response.
Correct.
rather than a conscious.
Though we find about Yosef Tzaddik that he was famous for saying Baruch Hashem a lot. Tell people in the world, you're right. Sometimes like Baruch Hashem already it comes to mean something. I once sat next to a little girl on the airplane. What do I mean little? Like 4 years old. And she was with her brother, with her father, with her mother, with the whole, it was like a row. And I was in the last little window seat. And they used to have, I don't know if they still have phones on the I haven't seen in a long time a phone on the airplane, but they took the phone down and she was pretending to be her mother. And she went like this, Shalom, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem,
Exactly.
Baruch Hashem. And I'm
Right.
thinking to herself, that's probably what she hears her mother say on
Yeah,
the phone.
exactly.
I mean, Baruch Hashem has become like this multi-purpose word. It doesn't really mean thank God. It
Yeah.
means whatever it needs to mean in that context. Okay, so of course, Baruch Hashem should mean Baruch Hashem. Hashem should bless us with leadership that is healthy, that is proper, and is able to lead this country to a good place, to a positive place, and to lead the free world with it into a place that is moral, that is connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and into a world that is going to be good not just for the people here, but for the people in the whole world. We have a responsibility. So long as this country stays at the top of the nations in the world, it has an obligation towards all the nations in the world. And B'ezrat Hashem, we'll be able to find the right people to do the right job, to be shlichei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to be messengers of Hashem. And B'ezrat Hashem, Hashem should bless them, that no matter who it is, they should be kind to us and to all of Israel, our brothers all over the world. B'ezrat Hashem.
Amen.